grade sevens. Wonderful to be teaching you again and to be speaking to you. I hope that you're all hanging in there. I'm missing you guys and I'm missing school a lot, and I'm sure you are too, but I hope you're making the most of this time. Okay, let's get on to variation. This is a term 1 topic at the end of the chapter. Okay, so I want you to think back to earlier on in the term when I taught you that all living organisms on the earth can be classified using the 7-level classification. Can you name those 7 levels, and can you remember the guy who developed them? Okay, I hope you got it right. It was kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Now, if you'll notice, species is right at the bottom of the list, okay? And species is very important. What are species of dogs? And then we're going to talk about that. Okay, so all of these dogs obviously belong to the same kingdom, that is the animal kingdom. Remember, there's 5 kingdoms: plants, protists, bacteria, fungi, and animals. And then given their phylum, they would belong to the phylum Chordata, because Chordata is all the vertebrates, okay? And then as we went down, it would be mammals, carnivores. So we know that they all belong to the same sort of group right down to the bottom. But if we have a look at these dogs, they all look different because they are different species, okay? You can see how they all look different. Have a look at them. Look at the length of their fur, the color of their fur, their legs, their tails, their ears, their eyes, their noses. Some of them have a very flat nose, some of them have a long nose. Okay, so this shows us that they all vary. So even though their parents might look a certain way, the offspring always looks different. Okay, we see the same type of variation here. The mommy horse is white and the foal is brown. So there are differences between the parent and the child. Okay, next the donkey. If a donkey breeds with a horse, it will give birth to infertile offspring, which means, like I said earlier, those offspring cannot make more babies. So although they look similar, they are not the same species and cannot breed. This is not the same as variation. Oh, Nunus, look at these cute kittens. They all look different, although they have the same parents. So this is variance. This is the variation between these animals. Although they are related, although they are siblings, they are different from one another and they are different from their parents. Okay, it's like my sister and myself. We have the same parents. However, I have long straight hair. I'm tall. She's
these
much shorter.
differences are the things that
curly hair.
make
I've got
us
blue
stronger,
eyes. She's got green
or
eyes.
make
So
the
that
animal
is
stronger
the
and
variation
allow them
between
to
us.
survive better in the environment.
So the same applies for humans. Have a look at all of these people and how vastly different they are. Although we are all human, look how different we can be. Look at our variation. And we can look at our eyes, our hair, our ears, our height, anything that makes us different. And the same thing applies for the things that we're able to do. Can you roll your tongue? Because a few people can, but not everybody can. Okay, now this image isn't very easy to see, but it's just some of the characteristics that as humans we may have in common. So under the tongue rolling is the shape of your thumb, your dominant hand, in other words, the hand you write with, or the one that's stronger, whether you have dimples or not, and whether your lobes are attached or unattached to your face. Okay, so we've seen that these characteristics that we have that are different are inherited from our parents, and the same thing applies to animals. I want to talk to you now about natural selection, which is kind of like survival of the fittest. So let's say we have 2 impala, a very strong impala, a fast, strong runner. He inherited those characteristics from his parents. And then another impala, a much slower, weaker one. If they were both faced with a lion chasing them, the slower, weaker one would get caught first, correct, and eaten, and then not have the chance to produce offspring. However, the stronger, faster impala would live to be able to tell the story, have offspring, and those offspring would have more offspring. So the stronger, faster impala would then carry on, and those characteristics would carry on. Another story of natural selection that I like very much is one of the peppered moth. So around the time of the Industrial Revolution in England, which is the time when there were more factories and they started producing more goods, the factories then would burn coal to make energy, and the coal would release soot. And soot is this dark stuff that would cover the trees
And as a result, these peppered moths were not able to camouflage like they usually would. So the moth at the top, the light-colored moth, would camouflage itself on trees that were covered in lichen. Lichen is like a whitey green kind of a growth, which shows that trees are healthy. Okay, and when the suit covered this lichen, the moths were then not able to camouflage themselves against the trees, and over a period of time they started to darken so that they would then, so all of the darker moths would then not be eaten by the birds, and they would then, with the process of natural selection, be the ones to reproduce and grow and stay alive. Okay, so let's recap grade 7s. If we have a look at variation, we can see it exists in species, which are part of the classification system. We spoke about dogs and humans, and that there are differences between individuals and animals of the same species. Variation in humans can be inherited, such as tongue rolling, height, or eye color. Okay, I hope you all understand. If you don't, please watch the video again, and I'm also going to attach for you some notes that you can have a look at, and then you are now going to do some homework for me. Please, I'd like you to do the homework on lined paper, the type of paper that we use in your books. Please remember the date, left-hand corner, underline. The heading can be variation, and then there are a set of 6 questions, which I'm going to display here. And if you cannot see them or you can't zoom, I will read the questions out to you. Okay, do it in blue pen, please, and remember to skip lines in between questions. Do it neatly, because we're going to stick it into your book when we return next term. Okay, these are the questions. Question 1. Are Dobermans, Terriers, and Bulldogs from the same species? Give a reason for your answer. 2 marks. Question 2. A new breed of cat has been developed called the Munchkin cats. Breeders specifically tried to breed a cat with very short front legs. Explain how you think they achieved this. 2 marks. Question 3. Predict whether you think Munchkin cats would be able to hunt as well as other cats with normal front legs. 2 marks. Question 4. Do you think it is correct for humans to breed animals in this way? Explain your answer. 2 marks. Question 5. Explain in your own words what you understand by the term inherited characteristics, for 2 marks. And then your last question, question 6. Why do you think it takes a long time for a species to adapt and change to its changing environment? 2 marks. Yay, we're done. We did it. 7 minutes for our 5-minute video, but at least I got through it. I'm not as technologically challenged as I thought I was. Good luck, guys, with the questions. Remember that when it's what do you think questions, it's your opinion, as long as you substantiate and it makes sense. Okay, and all of the questions are for 2 marks. Try your best, put effort in. I'm sure you don't really have much more to do. I miss you, Stacks, and I will see you soon. Mwah.